The following thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Happy Hour.
Are you feeling classy today? Sit down, pour a glass of wine, and listen to Happy Hour.
You're tuned in to Happy Hour, an hour where Happy rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
For the next hour, my goal in life is to change the way you think about things. For the next hour, I want my podcast to make your day. Maybe you're caught in traffic on the Howard Franklin, and it's an absolute bitch. And they're doing that thing where they have to watch the car crash, but once you go by the crash, everything's good. I want to make time go by. Or maybe your girlfriend's annoying you, and you're going for a quote-unquote jog, but you're just hiding in the car. I want to make time go by. But first, we have to let the beat drop. We have so much to get into, but to get into contact with me live during Happy Hour, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's not like algebra, which I had a hard time in. Tweet at me, at Ryan Hoppe Radio. But if you want to send me something that's more than 140 characters and you're listening to this on demand, just email me, ryan@hopperadio.com. You can listen live via the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iOS shop. Just search up Hoppe Radio. There you can hear all 25 interviews I've done since July. And you can listen to all the shows on demand. And when I'm doing a show live, like right now, we have the chat feature on Spreaker, on the app, and on the website. So I will get the messages in real time, and I get the tweets in real time. I'm very happy with where things are at. Interviewed the host of one of the biggest shows in Baltimore. Had Joe Howard giving me love advice. Now that is not clean whatsoever. If you have a weak heart and you don't like edgy humor, I would say don't listen to the one when Joe Howard's giving me love advice, because I didn't even know that was going to happen. When that segment began, I had all this prep, like, what's the worst heckler you've had to deal with? Then it ends up being 45 minutes of him giving me advice on how to get laid. So that was quite the episode. Coming up this week, we have a lot more. But I have an announcement that I am so proud to announce. I can't even believe it's real life. The support that you guys have given me, it means the world to me. And I'm not trying to sound cliche or lame or goofy, like, oh, it means the world to me. But it does. Because if it wasn't for you guys, I'd be another babbling podcaster talking at 2:16 in the afternoon on a Saturday. But guess what? You hear that CNN breaking news music? Got something I am proud to announce. I got something that I can't believe is real life. I'm never a guy that brags about how many listens I'll get on a show, because you can see, or how well it's doing. But we've reached a plateau. We've reached a mile mark that I am so proud. Hoppe Radio, the area where you can hear Happy Hour and Hoppe and Super Rich on the Spreaker page and the app, it has reached 50,000 listens and 10,000 downloads. And if it wasn't for you guys spreading the word, if it wasn't for you guys plugging it into your aux cord in your car, or listening at work, or just spreading the word, ripping on it, whatever, every time you click that play button, you're giving me support, positive or negative. So it means the world to me that Hoppe Radio this early on has reached 50,000 listens and 10,000 downloads. So I appreciate it. We have so much to get into. Enough of me plugging about myself. Jesus Christ. So here's my thing. I don't get, and here's me going into the rant, FYI. I don't get why Even if you go into a movie theater and you take people's lives, that you have rights in jail. I don't get when you're a punk-ass bitch who made the whole movie theater smoky and you dressed up like the Joker, that you have some rights in jail. Sit down, shut up, James Holmes, you bitch. Can't believe this is even happening. And I mean, this is a good part, but I can't believe that it's being charged. It says here, inmate is actually facing charges for alleged assault on Aurora theater shooter James Holmes. In what way is that assault? We should be applauding him. He should be the martyr for jail. I'm not saying the guy that did it is this class act angel, or the guy that did it, we should be going like, oh yeah, you're getting out of jail now. But for him to get assault, get the hell out of here. You're beating up the scum of the earth, a dirtbag that took away 68 lives. I kind of think we overlook what James Holmes did. People were going to see The Dark Knight Rises. There was a cute girl who was like 23 years old, and she was like a movie theater critic. She was there. Then you had kids there. You had couples there. People are now dead. They are not around anymore because of this dirtbag. But we're going to give him rights. Like if someone gets beat up, we're going to have alleged assault. Ridiculous. And you know now because of this, they'll put him in his own little cell where poor James is going to be protected. Screw this dirtbag. I'm not saying it'd be different if it was like money laundering or if it was like fraud or bank robbery, but at least that isn't a petty crime, but it's pretty petty compared to taking away lives at a goddamn movie theater. We seem to overlook this fact. Can you imagine being at that movie theater and you end up dying because of this dirtbag? Can you imagine getting injured because of him, or that fear where you got out of it alive but you thought something was going to happen? Or how about this? Imagine being a loved one or a friend of one of those dudes or girls that died, and you see that this despicable dirtbag is getting rights in jail. Enough. I'm not saying that there should be melee in jail. I'm not saying that we should just be having everybody beat up James Holmes, but I'm sure James wasn't being a class act. I'm sure he wasn't sitting there reading a book and was just minding his own business. I'm sure he was talking back. And that's what you get, dude, when you're a high-profile piece of dirt criminal that's known for doing something outrageous. That's what comes with the infamy. Think about it this way. When you become a movie actor, you know that the paparazzi is going to follow you around. Like if you're a guy like Bieber or George Clooney, any famous celebrity, you know that comes with the fame. You have to deal with paparazzi and mean tweets online. But think about it as a shooter. You know that you're not going to get away with it. And if you do think you're going to get away with taking away people's lives at a movie theater when it was clearly you, then you have the IQ of a dead rat in Manhattan. If you actually think that you're going to get away with this, James. But here's what I'm getting at. James knew that he wasn't going to get away with this. He seems like a sort of smart dude. He knew that this was his last thing before he was just going to give up on life. So you know what comes with the infamy, because that's why he did this. He wanted to be known. He wanted to be outrageous. He wanted to be the Joker. So what I'm getting at is, this is what he should be dealing with. He wanted the fame. He got it. He got on TMZ. They were breaking down, is James Holmes wacky? Look at his face when he's in court. Let's have someone read it. No, he's just evil. What I'm getting at is James Holmes got exactly what he wanted. The infamy, the attention, and everybody knows the name James Holmes. So that's what comes with the territory of being a quote-unquote famous criminal, is that you're going to get your ass beat in jail if you're bothering people, you pussy. Ridiculous. Oh, but let's give them rights. I would love to have that dude be interviewed. I want to find out who beat him up, because it says here it's 27-year-old Mark Daniels. This dude, Someone send him some cookies. I'm not saying we should be applauding him because he's obviously in there as well for something bad. So by no means is he a good dude. Oh, man. I'll tweet out a picture of him. I'm looking at him right now. Yeah. By no means is Mark Daniels a great guy. He sort of scares me via his mugshot. But, yeah. Thank you, Mark. Someone did it. It says here, James Holmes, condemned to spend the rest of his life in a Colorado prison, was alleged assault there by a fellow inmate, corrections spokeswoman said Saturday. The incident occurred earlier this month at the Colorado Penitentiary, which Holmes calls home, given his multiple life terms for carrying out the Aurora movie theater shooting that killed 12 and wounded 70. All right. Why is he even alive? Because he's just going to keep bringing out problems. You can't have him in a protected cell forever. So what's going to happen is this. You're going to keep having fights. You're going to keep having to waste taxpayers' money because you're going to keep having to charge these dudes who are going to keep beating him up. He's going to end up like Dahmer, where he's going to be in a church, quote-unquote, praying. Then someone's just going to cut off his head. Like, I promise you, like, he's going nowhere. Like, the fact that we're even having him in a jail cell is such a waste of space. It's kind of sad. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, I'm not saying every criminal that's found guilty, we should just take him out to the shed and shoot him. But when you injured 70 and killed 12 people, I'm just kind of saying you really shouldn't have rights. Like, I remember I was reading online during a rant recently that in court, they got mad that the lawyers would call James Holmes that guy. And James Holmes' lawyer was like, you will refer to my client by his name. There's this arrogance around James Holmes and his legal team, like he deserves rights, or like we should be giving him any rights because he's a human being, when really he's a despicable creep that killed 12 people and injured 70. Ridiculous. Like, why? I'm left speechless. What does he do that deserves rights? Like, what more do you need to do to just be given a fair share in jail and not a protective cell? Do you need to kill 200 people? Because then that might give you the VIP treatment in prison, you know, protective cell, veal parmesan. Ugh. It was not an attack. It was a very minor incident in a hallway. So then don't charge him. What a waste of time and taxpayers' money. It obviously hurt James Holmes good. But it wasn't like they beat him down and broke his nose and broke his hand or something. It was a minor incident. So then why the hell are you charging him? Just put that dude in a cell with no sunlight or something. I don't know. Do what you got to do. But you're going to go into a whole alleged assault charge because someone beat up James Holmes? We're screwed. Man, are we such uptight pussies that we're giving him rights. Yick. Bernie Madoff must just be getting caviar every night and just sipping on champagne. If they treat him well, imagine how well he does. It says here, the Colorado newspaper said that it was first learned of the encounter in a letter received Friday. So, this happened on October 8th. What I'm getting at is, it wasn't that big of a deal, but the media had to report on it. Oh, riveting. Oh, let's give them rights. The reason I'm reporting on it is because nobody else is taking this angle. I don't know if nobody has the guts to take this angle or they're afraid to, but this pussy deserves no rights. Everyone else is giving him a fair share on HLN or CNN or Fox News, or everybody else is kind of like, you know, doing those whole documentaries where they go, what happened in James Holmes' life? What went wrong? I don't know. He was born a bad apple. Not everybody in this life is born a good person, and he is on the opposite spectrum of that. He is pure scum. He literally is the definition of evil. Now, what I'm about to say might not touch everyone right, but he's sort of a terrorist. It's just unnecessary violence. Oh, man. But this guy's an idiot. The one that beat up James Holmes, he was eligible for parole on February 25th, 2017. But because of this got pushed back. Then, dude, you really shouldn't be doing this. It's one thing. If you're a guy like James Holmes that's going to be in jail, in prison forever, so it doesn't matter. But when you're going to get off on parole in about a year and a half, maybe you should behave. Maybe you just don't care. Maybe you don't want to go into the outside world and pay for daddy support and see your kids and your girl or whatever, or you're not ready to accept life and to get a job, so it's just easier to be in prison. Because there's no reason why someone would take their time to beat up this scumbag if you're going to get out relatively soon. But that's just me. Hey, potato, potato, whatever you want to do in your life. All right. I want to remind you guys what James Holmes did. I want to remind you guys that this is the guy we're giving rights to. I want to remind you that this is who we are treating like gold in jail. We're giving him rights, protection now. No. It wasn't fraud. It wasn't bank robbery. It was he wore a helmet, gas mask, and gear, tossed tear gas into Theater 9 of the Century Movie Theater in Aurora, Colorado, during the first minutes of the midnight showing of Dark Rises. He was armed with a shotgun, not a water gun. No. He was armed with a shotgun, a rifle, and a handgun. He opened fire. He had more than 700 goddamn rounds ready. After his gun jammed, thank God, now more people suffered, he walked out of the theater like a pussy and surrendered. He had 700 rounds. He was trying to kill all of Aurora, Colorado, because he's so wacky and insane, man. But yeah, this is the dude we're giving rights to. Makes sense. There's nothing else to this article. It's comical where like things are going. I'm not saying everything should be like Oz or like Prison Break, where we just allow things to just go on, butt sex, people getting beat up. But when it's a minor attack and maybe James Holmes is left with some bruises and James Holmes is left with a few black eyes, maybe that's when you go, people are now laying in the ground because of this dude. People are now paralyzed for life because of this scumbag. People are now terrified to go to a movie theater because of this scumbag. Maybe this is okay for him to get beat up. I'm just saying.
Next on Hoppe Hour.
We have reached an epidemic in America, and I am going to explain it to you. The media, I want you to listen to me. We can change things. We can make things work. We can change the way we report about celebrities and news. I'm not saying we have to go all moral, but this could be the epidemic. This could be the eye-opening news coverage that changes everything and prevents idiocracy. And I will get into that and more after this. But first, tweet at me. At Ryan Hoppe Radio. Got a message from Reds. He said, "Hi, Hoppe, looking good. Thank you, my man." We also got a shout out from one of my big fans, Rob Hill. So I appreciate it. And if you're watching via Spreaker or the app, which means you're chatting me live, or you're watching on the Hoppe TV version on Periscope, message me and let me know what you think. We will be right back on Hoppe Hour after this. Hang on and do not touch that computer mouse.
Hoppe Hour. Hoppe Hour.
What's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from Hoppe Hour, and I have a very special shout out to one of the sponsors of this award-winning podcast. Nicholas Seymour from Duluth, Minnesota is the owner of Solis Graphics, which is a badass company that will make you decals. You can buy Hoppe Hour decals. It's not too hard. For just $4, you can support this award-winning podcast while supporting small business here in America. Or maybe you have a band, a company, a freelancing project, and you want to have your logo made into a nice, badass decal. Nick is down for making deals, and he is very good at negotiating. If you want to get into contact with Nick, it's not hard. Trust me. He will answer your call real quick, and he is one of the nicest guys I know. His number is 330-419-0691. That is 330-419-0691. Or you can send him an email, soulysdesign@gmail.com. That is soulysdesign@gmail.com. And to check out Happy Hour decals for just $4, go to tinyurl.com/happy hour decal. That is tinyurl.com/happy hour decal. And when you talk to my guy Nick, just say that Ryan Hoppe sent you, and he will give you a badass deal. Trust my word, pimps. Nick Seymour of Solis Graphics is the best around.
Tweet Hoppe at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Email him, ryan@hopperadio.com, and give him a nice, sexy Snapchat at Hoppe Radio.
Doesn't this song just put you in a good mood? I wish they made techno like this nowadays, not this crap that David Guetta and Skrillex are making. You got Mojo talking about being at the bars chilling with women. I mean, listen to this.
Chilling with my friends, feeling kind of love.
It has a very early 2000s, 1990s vibe to it, so I know that era is never going to come back. I'm just saying, the music that's out now is absolute crap. All right, tweet at me, at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and then email me, ryan@hopperadio.com. So fine and take all night. You blow my mind. Oh yeah. There you go. You get Hoppe karaoke for the day. And if you're watching live on Hoppe TV, you're probably confused because you don't get to hear what's in my headphones unless I turn off the mic. So I look like a babbling moron singing. All right. I know that we've always had this fascination with celebrities. I know that you don't have to be talented to be famous. I get that. You've had the Marilyn Monroes. You've had the Playboy models. You've had the Pam Andersons, the girls that are eye candy, Paris Hilton, and now the Kardashian talentless. I'll keep it clean. Here's what I'm getting at. It was okay when they came out with the sex tape because you're like, ooh, everyone has a sex tape. Then it was sort of okay when they had the reality shows. And then they had the Bruce Jenner thing because whatever. That's what you expect from talentless scumbags. I'm not saying Bruce Jenner's a scumbag. I'm glad she did what she needed to do. I just wish she didn't do it on ETV and that it wasn't a PR move, especially after the manslaughter charge she should have had. What I'm getting at is, I get that when you're famous, you can do whatever you want. I get that when you're famous, they don't care what they think. And me talking about them right now basically is giving them PR. But I want to wake up the media. We need to quit covering them. It's getting out of hand. And the only reason I talk about it is nobody else says anything. Every other radio or TV show treats it as actual news. I first was rooting for Lamar Odom, and now I am. But do you guys realize what the media is doing now? Do you guys realize what you are perpetrating and what you are creating? There are going to be shows. Lamar and Chloe, fix it. Lamar and Chloe, get back together. Chloe was never going to get back with Lamar. She was banging out James Harden. And I'm not saying I feel bad for James Harden because he can get any girl he wants. But he must be laughing that now she's back with Lamar. Just because, here's why. I know girls want to say she loves Lamar. She has affection for him. She cares about him. Maybe a little bit. But you know what it is? That piece of dirt, scumbag leech, Kris Kardashian said, he almost died. He almost died of being around hookers and being around coke. That's like being around us. We could bring him back and it'll bring in ratings and money. And then we can have 9 spinoffs because women eat that up. The media eats it up. They are fooling us. Do you really think that Khloe loves Lamar? Lamar spent $10,000 at a whorehouse eating fried chicken, snorting coke, having Viagra parties, and having sex with women so ugly they make Khloe look like a princess. Do you really think Khloe's like, oh my God, forget James Harden, who's been buying me things, even though I have enough money. I want to get back with the guy that almost died because I truly love him. They were just about divorced. I'm not saying their marriage ever meant anything. I'm not saying that they were ever the couple we should look up to. But this is absolute scum. I promise you they're going to have shows about this. And you know what is so scummy about this? You know what is so despicable and inhuman about this? I'm not saying Lamar Odom went down that bad road because of the Kardashians, but the scumbag paparazzis drove him there. So if you're Khloe or you're the Kardashian family and you claim to love Lamar and you claim to care about him, you wouldn't have a reality show about him because now whenever he's in public, the paparazzi's going to drive him crazy. Just like they did originally when he was at a whorehouse and he almost died. Think about that. I hope I just mind-effed your mind. The reason he went crazy is because of the paparazzi. Just like every other dude that ever bangs out those girls, they end up going crazy. Remember the dude from the New Jersey Nets? Remember Ray J? Remember, you can have a whole list. Reggie Bush, they all go crazy when they're around them because it's constant attention. And it drove Lamar insane. Now, Lamar had a rough upbringing in New York City, so he was around drugs. So I'm not completely blaming the Kardashians, but it's kind of funny how once he marries her, then his NBA career goes down. The attention got to him. So if Khloe and them truly loved Lamar and truly cared about him, they wouldn't be potentially making shows about him. And I don't want anybody to go, where's your proof, Hoppe? Where's your sources? It's just what those scumbag, out-of-touch, rich, douchebag leeches do. All they care about is money and ratings, and people will eat it up. Somebody's going to grab the Lamar Odom interview. Probably not Barbara Walters, because I think she's retired. But somebody's going to grab it. And I'm rooting for Lamar. I'm a Laker fan. I just don't like that he's associated with these imbeciles. And shame on the media. Khloe Kardashian's husband. You're making it all about those scumbags. Are the Kardashians paying the media to make it about them? He's an NBA champion that won 6th Man of the Year. He was good on the Clippers before he was banging out Khloe. Enough. Lazy journalism by People Magazine, National Esquire. And I know you're going to go, but Hoppe, you're reading it. No, when I'm grocery shopping at Publix, that's what I see. When I'm in the waiting line, it's all about the Kardashians. What do they have to do with it when it comes to him dying? If it was Khloe on the deathbed or any of those imbecile siblings, then it would make sense to make it about them. But his last name isn't Kardashian. It's Odom. The last time I checked, if you look up his highlights on YouTube, it doesn't say Lamar Kardashian. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the inner NBA fan in me got it wrong. Maybe the whole time when I would play as a Lakers fan in NBA 2K12, I just read it wrong and I'm not good at reading and it says Lamar Kardashian, not Lamar Odom. Maybe I got it wrong. I'm just saying, why is it always about them? Please explain to me what's so important about these scumbag leeches. These money-grubbing... Oh, I want to say so much more, but I keep it clean. You know where I'm going. Like, if they truly cared about Lamar, they wouldn't have any shows about it. They wouldn't even get back together with him. Because that's what drove him nuts, being around his family. Secondly, By no means do I think Dennis Hoff is a great dude. I like the guy. I've met him twice at this thing called the Morning Show Boot Camp. It's a radio conference. And since he goes on all these radio shows, at this radio conference, he goes there, he passes out his business card, he has a few of the girls around him. They're nice. They're nice people. I don't judge. I'm not religious. I'm not a guy that judges what people do in their life. I'm going into the tough business of radio. How can I judge anybody? And I'm not going to say that I have a bias towards Dennis Hoff because he was nice to me. But he's a decent enough dude. You know what you're going to get out of a guy who owns a chain of brothels. He's not Billy Graham where he owns a chain of churches, even though that would be no different. I'm just saying, I hate how people are mad that he wants Lamar to pay the $10,000 that he owes. First of all, we seem to forget that Lamar Odom was having Viagra parties while doing coke, and he almost died at a horror house with two girls that are very ugly. So what I'm getting at is we're kind of giving him a pass because the Kardashian PR and Lamar's PR have done it right where they've made us feel bad for him. And we should. But that doesn't excuse the fact that he should not have to pay the bill. And can you imagine if I went there and I had a bill of $10,000 and I almost die? The media wouldn't even report on it. I'm a no-name. But they would kick my ass until I paid for it. But just because Lamar Odom's net worth is $40 million, he doesn't have to pay it back. Stop. And quit with the whole praying for Lamar. I'm wishing him the best. How about we pray for this hurricane in Mexico? How about we pray for all the innocent lives that are taken each and every day in America with these mass shootings, with everything that goes on in bad parts of towns? How about we pray for the fact that there's not one good presidential candidate and idiocracy is upon us? Why are we praying for a promiscuous NBA player who paid $10,000 at a brothel and was cheating on his wife that he wasn't completely with, but now he's back with her to make money off of a reality show? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's the guy we should be praying for. Ridiculous. And Dennis Hoff is the bad guy because he wants his money because he's running a business. We're losing our minds. The only reason people care about the Kardashians, oh my God, you got a fat ass. Oh wow, you see her in that dress? Wow. I've seen girls that are more gorgeous looking at the gym when they're not wearing makeup and they have nice yoga pants on because they're natural looking and they don't look like a Barbie doll that you have thrown into a campfire and the skin got all like fake looking. Every single time I have to look at a tabloid when I'm at Publix grocery shopping, their face gets more fake and fake. And their boobs get more round, and somehow their ass keeps getting bigger. And I don't think it's from squats. Just saying. We can change the way we report the news, folks. Here's how I'm going to wrap this up. We can literally change the way we look at things. Here's what we can do. I really hope that the fact that an NBA player cheated on his wife that he wasn't completely divorced with and spent $10,000 at a brothel and almost died because of Viagra and coke. But we are praying for him. And now he's going to probably get a show on ETV. And he's going to go back to being crazy. Probably not do what he did originally. But being around that family is what caused him to do it. I'm hoping this overexposure by everybody at ETV, Kris Kardashian, Ryan Seacrest, everybody that runs that awful network. I hope this is an eye-opener for the media. I hope that this is an eye-opener for America, where it's like, we've had too much. I hope this is an eye-opener where we go, enough is enough. I hope this is an eye-opener where we go, we need to fix things, like finding a good presidential candidate, like fixing crime, like doing something with gun laws. I'm not going to sit here and claim I'm all political. I'm just saying we have more important things to be talking about. I hope this is where we reach the breaking point. Because the sad part is you don't hear many podcasts or many radio shows like me say it like it is. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm some preacher or that you should listen to every word I say, but think about it. We could literally quit talking about them if we ignore them. And you're going to say, but Hoppy, you're talking about them. You're giving them attention. I'm the only one that rips them. And what? If I sit here and be quiet and I let America go down a bad path because we keep talking about these talentless imbeciles, me being the one person that's quiet is going to help it? No, you need an outspoken voice to say it like it is. If we quit reporting on them, they will go away. Because they are no different than any gorgeous girl you can see at a nightclub in downtown Tampa. And I truly hope, I truly believe this could be where we go. Enough is enough is enough. Too much exposure. We're rooting for a guy. Yes, we should be. But he goes back with the family that then causes him to go crazy. I'm rooting for Lamar. I'm a big fan of Lamar. I just don't like that he's going back with the Kardashians. Maybe he's not the closest with his family since he had a hard upbringing. I'm just saying, I feel like your true family, anybody, Kobe, anybody, Nick Young, anybody from the Lakers, Phil Jackson, I feel like they care about you more, Lamar, than those scumbags known as the Kardashians.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour.
This is an official broadcast of Hoppe Radio. For more info, check out hopperadio.com and hoppesworld.com.